Hi everybody, Chris Szpryngel. My focus course is Marketing 505. It's a graduate marketing course called Brand Management, and the critical event is Team Effectiveness on a Final Project. The final project is a brand audit. Students choose an organization, product, or service, and they create a brand audit, which is what the public perception is of the brand, the company, the product, or the service they sell. They have to work in teams. There's deadlines they have to meet throughout the term. Everyone is expected to participate fully, equal efforts, and there's always a rush to complete because they're all procrastinating toward the end. And there's just an overall frustration. Doesn't happen on every team, but it happens frequently enough on teams, and even some teams have some level of conflict. I thought it was enough to make some changes. So here we go. Overall, before UDL, what worked really well was I try to set early expectations so they know everything that's required of them, no surprises from day one. I do presentations on team roles, team responsibilities, the final project, virtually everything they need to know. I kind of take them step by step using Canvas Studio. And I show them what all the different updates look like. I give them previous examples of presentations. Sometimes they're just parts of presentations, whatever we're focusing on at the time, just so they can visually see and hear what the expectation is. And the other piece I do is I have a peer accountability segment where they have to, at the end, evaluate their peers on the teams. Some students love it because they feel it keeps everyone in line. Some hate it, obviously, those that probably procrastinate or don't participate fully. So I just tried that out for the first time, and I had some good responses. So the basic challenge is a lot of students don't like working in groups because they feel they'll be doing all the work themselves. It's also difficult to schedule and get everyone together and herd the cats, get everybody in, have their assignments in time to present the team update. Some struggle with technology. Like in every class, they don't like that peer accountability, and procrastination is very common. So those are the sort of challenges that we're dealing with. So incorporating UDL, the first thing I did was a pre-assessment quizzes. What I do is instead of just having them sign off on the syllabus that they read it and technology, what happens if their computer breaks down, there's a quiz on each of those two segments, 5 questions each. And basically I have them commit to, yes, I know that this is the link to the help desk if something happens. Yes, I know that I'm expected to have my deliverables in on time. Yes, I'm part of a team, and I understand my responsibility to the team. So I really kind of go over. It's kind of an accountability quiz more than anything else. So this way they can't say they didn't know, because they have to answer yes to everything before they move on into the course. And it's also graded. I give them, I think, five points or something toward the final grade. And then I do also a review of marketing, because I don't know how many of them had marketing courses. If they did, it might have been years ago when they're undergraduate. Some of them may not have had marketing at all. Some of them may have had it in different schools in different countries. So I just go over a basic overview of what they'll need to know in marketing for this class. I kind of go over some basic stuff with them. I also go over the team responsibilities, because that I think is really important for them to understand my expectations. So that's what I do with the marketing review. I also give them outlines. I've created checklists. I show them where there's an actual brand audit in the textbook. If they just follow that sequence of steps, they'll do just fine. And then the other thing I do is I try any kind of my videos, or even if I give them some written announcements or updates, I try to chunk it. So I can go on for a long time on some of these topics because they seem never ending, but I try to figure out a way to segment it. So maybe my videos are 5 minutes long as opposed to, sitting there listening to me for 30, although I have some 30 minutes. I'm still working on those. And there's a weekly update, individual and team, and those updates, I tell them, use those updates. Once you get my feedback on them, use those to add to your final presentation. So there's a scaffolding perspective on that as well. There are some complex, not a lot, but there are some complex terms and topics. And so I highlight those, and I'll even sometimes just give a short video on those complex areas so they have a basic understanding of it. And I always talk about incorporate the real world stuff into these concepts. So, which isn't hard to do because they're all exposed to marketing with social media, so they see a lot of this stuff. Now it's a matter of them understanding what that ad on YouTube means, why it's there, why would they put it up there, what the expectation is of the organization, the marketing team. So we do talk a lot about real world stuff, and they bring that up as well in their discussions and in their assignments. One thing I felt was a barrier was I wasn't connecting with them frequently enough, so I have more individual interactions with them. I have more videos with them so they get to see and hear me, my feedback. I give them video feedback on discussion boards, video feedback on their assignments, and they felt that was very helpful. They liked that, and they felt a better connection with not only me but also with their classmates, because they're all working in a team and they meet live several times throughout the class. So they're not feeling as isolated as they would if there wasn't any of that. So, but working together with the team leaders and the team members more frequently has been very helpful. The feedback I give them, most of my feedback is video, but I do give them some written feedback. And they also have an option to give feedback back to their classmates on video or in written form. And then when I give them feedback, I always talk about, the work that they did, how appreciative I am, good job. And then, what I'm seeing needs to be improved on. And then kind of, how this is working toward the final goal of the project. Are they getting closer to the goal, or have they kind of, gotten off the beaten track a little bit? And then the other thing, too, is the team dynamics, is to have them understand their role in the team, how important it is to fully participate, how important it is to get deadlines on time, how to be flexible with your schedule so everybody can meet together, because eventually they have to meet as a team live and record it and upload it. So I really go over that. Spelling errors, no surprise there. I also give them options to what they can use to communicate outside the actual assignment, so that they want to use WhatsApp, Zoom, Teams, however they want to communicate with each other. I leave it up to them, but I do give them some options. And I also have done a Zoom video on how to use Zoom for some that haven't used that before or haven't used it as team leaders, getting everyone together, putting them up on the screen. And the results were based on feedback, not only formal course evaluations, but also on emails I've gotten from students, revising some of those early expectations. Creating those quizzes was very helpful. They like the fact that they have a choice of a verbal and written student commitments from each other, and that added interaction with me has been very helpful. And I've been waiting for this formal evaluations to come out to really gauge on what they found. And these are some of them. They liked the constant video feedback. They found it was a real learning experience working in teams. They liked that the class was interactive, the amount of interaction with me. They found that feedback that I gave was very helpful. And I think it was more frequent feedback and probably the video feedback. Again, working with others, they enjoyed the assignments. They enjoyed, doing a brand audit, and they liked the fact that I was very proactive and giving them as much stuff in advance as possible. So that's it. That's what I have, and it was a very positive learning experience for me. I think it was very helpful for the students, and looking forward to working on a lot of my courses with all the information and knowledge I now possess. Thanks, everybody.